Have you ever wondered why Japan consistently ranks among the healthiest, longest living, and most resilient cultures in the world? Why their people seem calmer, more focused, more grounded? Why their daily routines feel smoother, lighter, almost effortless? It's not because they're born different. It's not because they meditate all day or live stress-free lives. And it's definitely not because of luck. It's habits, tiny habits. Habits so small, most people ignore them. Habits so simple, they almost feel too insignificant to matter. But that's exactly why they work. Because tiny habits are sustainable. They slip into your life quietly. They compound silently. And over time, those small choices carve out massive differences in your health, your focus, your relationships, and even the way you think. Today, I'm going to show you 8 tiny Japanese habits that can reshape your life. Not in dramatic overnight transformations, but in the kind of deep, lasting change that sticks. These aren't extreme routines. They're not complex systems. They're small principles woven into the Japanese lifestyle for centuries. And once you understand them, everything starts to make sense. So let's begin with the first one. A habit that built one of the most successful manufacturing cultures in history, and surprisingly, can reshape your personal life more than any motivational speech ever could. Habit 1. Kaizen, the art of tiny improvements. Kaizen might be one of the most powerful ideas you ever learn. It means continuous improvement, but not the kind people imagine. Kaizen is not about turning your life upside down. It's not about reinventing yourself in one dramatic moment. It's the opposite. It's the philosophy of improving so slowly and so gently that the change feels almost invisible. 1% better today, 1% better tomorrow, 1% better the day after that. And if you keep doing that, compounding does the heavy lifting for you. In Japan, Kaizen isn't motivational, it's cultural. Factories run on it. Schools teach it. Workers live by it. Toyota didn't dominate the auto industry by making massive leaps. They did it by asking every employee, every single day, what tiny improvement can you make? A tool moved 2 inches closer. A step reduced by half a second. A process made slightly smoother. 1 second here. One adjustment there. One tiny improvement repeated thousands of times. The result? World-class consistency. But here's the part most people miss. Kaizen works even better in your personal life. Want to get in shape? Don't promise yourself an hour at the gym. Do 1 push-up. 1. So small you can't say no. Want to read more? Don't aim for a chapter. Read 1 page. Want to clean your room? Don't tackle the whole space. Clear 1 shelf. Kaizen removes friction. It makes progress feel effortless. And it gives your brain small victories, which keep you moving. Because the goal is not to transform overnight. The goal is to never stop moving forward. Habit 2. Ikigai, your reason for waking up. If Kaizen is the engine, Ikigai is the fuel. Ikigai means reason for being. It's the quiet force that gives your life meaning, not your job, not your responsibilities, not your obligations, but the thing that makes you feel alive. In Okinawa, one of the world's famous blue zones, almost every person over 90 can tell you their Ikigai instantly. Tending a garden, teaching children, practicing an art, caring for family, creating something with their hands. It doesn't have to be impressive. It doesn't have to change the world. It just has to matter to you. Because when you wake up with purpose, your biology changes. Studies show that having a strong sense of purpose lowers inflammation, reduces stress hormones, improves cardiovascular health, increases lifespan, sharpens focus, boosts resilience. Purpose literally protects your body. But here's the problem. Most people never ask themselves what they actually want out of life. They're busy, distracted, following someone else's script, and they wonder why everything feels heavy. Ikigai gives you a framework. It sits at the intersection of 4 questions. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need from you? How can you support yourself doing it? When something touches all 4, that's your Ikigai. You don't need to find the perfect answer today. Just start asking the questions, because the moment you start searching for meaning, your mind shifts. You stop drifting. You start living intentionally. Tiny habit, massive difference. The 3rd tiny habit is harahachi bu, and it might be one of the simplest, most powerful longevity secrets on the planet. Harahachi bu means this: eat until you're 80% full. Not stuffed, not even comfortably satisfied, just 80%. In Okinawa, people literally say this phrase before every meal. It's not a diet, it's not restriction, it's a reminder, a small moment of awareness. Because here's what most people never realize: your stomach and your brain are not on the same schedule. Your stomach knows you've eaten, your brain doesn't, and it takes 15-20 minutes for your brain to catch up, which means that every time you eat until you feel full, you've already gone too far. You've eaten more than your body needed. You've spiked your insulin, overloaded your digestion, and triggered inflammation. Do that meal after meal, day after day. And the long-term consequences add up. Weight gain, sluggishness, hormonal imbalance, faster aging, higher disease risk. But stopping at 80%, it gives your system exactly what it needs. No more, no less. And the scientific impact is massive. Calorie moderation has been proven to extend lifespan in nearly every species studied, reduce oxidative stress, strengthen metabolic flexibility, improve digestion, lower inflammation, reduce risk of chronic disease. It's not starving. It's simply avoiding the invisible 20% excess that slowly damages your body. And the way you practice it is simple. Eat slower, pause halfway, check in with your body. Ask, am I actually still hungry? Or am I just eating because food is here? Most people eat on autopilot. The Japanese pause. That pause is the tiny habit that quietly protects their health for decades. Habit 4. Shinrin yoku, forest bathing. The 4th tiny habit is Shinrin yoku, also known as forest bathing. And despite the name, it has nothing to do with exercise, hiking, or accomplishing anything. It's simply the practice of stepping into a natural environment and letting your senses slow down. In Japan, doctors literally prescribe this, not metaphorically, not symbolically. They write it on paper. Go spend time in the forest. No phone, no headphones, no rushing, just presence. And once again, the science is stunning. When you walk among trees, your body begins to shift. Your cortisol drops. Your heart rate slows. Your prefrontal cortex relaxes. Your immune system activates. Your mood lifts. Your nervous system moves from fight or flight to rest and digest. But there's something even more fascinating. Trees release natural compounds called phytoncides. They're like the tree's immune system, chemical protectors against insects and bacteria. And when humans breathe them in, our immune cells, especially NK cells that fight viruses and cancer, become more active. Your stress hormones fall. Your parasympathetic system wakes up. You feel grounded, centered, balanced. Nature literally recalibrates your biology. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need a mountain. You don't need a sacred shrine. You don't need a Japanese forest, a park, a tree-lined street, a nature trail, even your backyard. The key is to go slowly, walk without a destination. Notice the way the light hits the leaves. Notice the sound of wind, birds, footsteps, breath. This isn't wasting time. This is recovery. And for many people drowning in overstimulation, this tiny habit is the first breath of real relief they've felt in years. Habit 5. Wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection. The fifth tiny habit is wabi-sabi, and it's a mindset that can completely transform the way you see your life. Wabi-sabi is the acceptance of imperfection, the recognition that life is messy, things break, people change, and nothing is ever complete. But instead of resisting that truth, the Japanese embrace it. In the West, perfection is sold everywhere. Perfect bodies, perfect homes, perfect lives on social media, perfect productivity, perfect routines. And the more you chase perfection, the more exhausted, insecure, and overwhelmed you become. Because perfection is impossible, and deep down, everyone knows it. Wabi-sabi is the antidote. A cracked teacup isn't ruined, it has character. A wrinkle on your face isn't a flaw, it's a record of your life. A project that's still a little messy is still worth celebrating. Wabi-sabi doesn't tell you to stop improving. It tells you to stop suffering while you improve. It gives you permission to be human, to grow slowly, to make mistakes, to appreciate what exists now, even if it's incomplete. And that shift is liberating, because the moment you stop trying to be perfect, you start becoming real. So the next time you see something imperfect in your life, your work, your home, your face, your progress, pause. Ask yourself, what's beautiful about this as it is? That one question can soften your mind and transform your relationship with yourself. The sixth tiny habit is gaman, and it's one of the most misunderstood principles in Japanese culture. Gaman means endurance with dignity, not suffering in silence, not pretending everything is fine, but holding your ground with quiet strength. In the West, people often think resilience means shouting about your struggle, announcing your obstacles, proving how hard things are. But gaman teaches the opposite. It says, you don't need an audience to be strong. You just need to keep going. It's the ability to face difficulty without letting it define you, to move through stress without collapsing under it, to endure discomfort without turning it into an identity. And the science behind this is powerful. When you complain constantly, you reinforce a narrative in your brain. I am powerless. I am overwhelmed. I can't handle this. Your brain wires itself around that story. But when you practice gaman, when you breathe, center yourself, and take one small step forward, your brain forms a different identity. I can handle this. I am capable. I will get through this. Resilience is not built during easy moments. It's built in the quiet decision to keep going when no one is watching. And gaman trains that decision every day. In traffic, at work, during conflict, during stress. A tiny habit, a powerful transformation. Habit 7, omoyari, thoughtful consideration. The seventh tiny habit is omoyari, the Japanese practice of anticipating the needs of others before they ask. This isn't politeness, it's deeper. It's the understanding that everything you do affects the people around you, your words, your noise, your presence, your behavior. And in Japan, omoyari is everywhere. People speak quietly on trains so others can rest. They line up neatly without supervision. They clean their tables at restaurants. They return shopping carts. They move out of the way without being asked. They bow to acknowledge your space, not to submit, but to show respect. It's a society built on the belief that when you make life easier for others, life becomes easier for everyone. This is not just cultural, it's biological. Psychology shows that acts of consideration increase serotonin, your mood stabilizer, reduce social tension, improve cooperation, strengthen trust, increase personal happiness, reduce anxiety. The fastest way to improve your own well-being is to genuinely consider someone else's. And the habit is simple. Before you act, ask, will this disturb someone? Will this create unnecessary discomfort? Can I make this moment smoother for others? It costs nothing, but the ripple effect shapes entire environments. Habit 8, Kintsugi, turning your cracks into gold. The eighth and final tiny habit is kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. But in Japan, kintsugi is much more than a technique. It's a philosophy about life. When a bowl breaks, the Japanese don't throw it away. They restore it, and they don't hide the crack. They highlight it. They celebrate the flaw. They turn the damage into art. The break becomes part of the story, and the piece becomes more valuable than before. Kintsugi teaches something most people never understand. You're not meant to stay unbroken. You're meant to rebuild. Every heartbreak, every failure, every loss, every wound, they are not proof that you're weak. They are proof that you're human. And when you come out on the other side, stronger, wiser, more self-aware, your cracks are not shameful. They are gold, but only if you stop hiding them. Only if you stop forcing yourself to be perfect. Only if you allow yourself to heal with intention. Most people spend their lives pretending their cracks don't exist. Japan teaches the opposite. Honor them, repair them, let them shine. The final message. One tiny habit at a time. So here's what you need to remember. These 8 tiny habits are not hacks. They're not shortcuts. They're not quick fixes. They are principles. Gentle, subtle, deeply human principles. Kaizen teaches you that massive change comes from tiny improvements. Ikigai gives your life direction. Harahachibu protects your health, one mindful meal at a time. Shinrin-yoku resets your mind through stillness in nature. Wabi-sabi frees you from the illusion of perfection. Gaman builds resilience quietly, without applause. Omoyari softens your relationships and your world. And kintsugi reminds you that your scars are not flaws. They are the most beautiful parts of you. You don't need to adopt all 8. You don't need to become someone new. Pick one, just one tiny habit. Do it consistently. Let it become part of your identity. Then add another and another, because transformation doesn't happen in big steps. It happens in tiny, almost invisible shifts, repeated quietly over time. And those tiny habits, they don't just change your day, they change your life. If this shifted your perspective, subscribe, because the biggest changes come from the smallest choices. And your new life begins with a tiny habit today.